Alright, on to look at our Grand Arena. I had some computer issues. I still have some computer issues. I had hard drive completely fry, so I wasn't able to record my last one. Having troubles trying to reliably record, so we're kind of makeshifting this one. Let's see, we are on the first round of week 2 of our Grand Arena. Not all, most of my opponents have Revan and Malik. I think one of them has Revan without Malik, and good majority of the rest of them have Revan and Malik. Yeah, we got a Gear 13 Jedi Knight Revan and Jolie. Haven't seen that yet. No Revan there. Revan there, I'm faster than on Bastila. And the same here, my Bastila is faster there. And I have a higher gear level Revan. This guy here does not have Revan, has the exact same speed on Bastila Fallen as me, but he has a faster Yoda, so I won't be able to apply Corrupted Battle Meditation anyway. So that's going to be a tricky one, but I also have Malik and he doesn't, so that could sway it into my favor too. We'll have to see how that goes if we come to that. I think that's my highest threat opponent amongst all of my opponents here. He, I believe, does not have, yep, Revan, and my current opponent does not have Revan, but does have Jedi Knight Revan, just a slightly lesser geared version of it. And then obviously has a Traya team as well. And our final opponent here has Revan, but slower if I recall right. No Malik. Yeah, slower than my Bastila. And in the meantime, in the downtime between the last Grand Arena, I was able to Gear 13 my Grievous, which the team as a whole is okay, but I figure boosting Grievous might cause them to, but seeing the rest purple might cause them to underestimate, and then just hopefully the bonus turns overwhelm them, or at least cause them to drop in banners. I kept it for offense just because I need, so we've got some feats, looking at the feats here to accomplish. We have to kill opponents with separatist characters or ships. Obviously ships don't count, and so I kept that team for offense. Let's see, I need 2 battles with undersized squad, and then 8 battles with undersized squad there. 10 on first attempt, 21 squad arena battles, that's a separate beast entirely. Completely clear 18 territories. That should all come with time here, so onto my inventory. So I added a whole new squad while we were away. I unlocked and put a Zeta on Alpha for the Geonosian squad, and also geared up all the rest of mine. Sunfac was thankfully already pretty well geared. I was able to get some, mods on him, a little more ideal mods. Got his, protection pool bumped way up to 70 and 30 on the health pool, and then got him another, I think he was gear 9, so got him to 11. I'll attempt to get all the way up to 12 here as soon as I can. And then, oops, Geonosian Soldier, I bumped up to 11 as well. Got some mods. None of these mods are, top of the line mods, but they're mods that I had left over that were still pretty good. Poggle I got up to gear 11 as well. Same story with the mods. I think I went a little heavier on potency. I went for tenacity on Geonosian Brood Alpha. I want to try it against Night Sisters, I think, but I don't want my Night Sisters, or I don't want Night Sisters to be able to stun, so I tried to bump his tenacity up a decent amount. And then of course the Genos, he's got a rework just a few days ago too, and I geared and leveled them. Some of them were already leveled and geared. Sunfac was, and the rest, I think all the rest were not. Um, I geared and leveled them a day, 2 days before they ended up reworking them. So I played with them, a little bit just to test them out here and there, and they were good. And then just a couple days after the reworks came out, and I went perfect. I mean, the timing was perfect on it. I don't know that I could have, done it better even had I known. And it just happened to fall in my favor. Been having pretty good luck on that lately. Earlier in the year, I had the day that I finished my farm for all the characters for Jedi Knight Revan the second go round was the day that Bastila Shan Fallen got released free to play. So I immediately started farming her and was able to get, Revan in time, of course. And so I've been pretty lucky from a free play standpoint here. Um, and so I should have kept this for offense, but I put it on defense. It's another Separatist team, and I could have used to help get that feat. But I placed it on defense. I don't think my opponent has attacked yet. Last I checked, he did not. Doesn't look like it, unless he just wasn't able to get through, but no, it doesn't look like he attacked yet. I don't expect him to get through top zone. Maybe with his Jedi Knight Revan he can get through. It looks as though he kept almost nothing on defense and is going all out attack. And I kept some relatively weak teams in the back. I didn't expect him to get through, but I also didn't expect him to hold it as much as he looks like he did for offense, because it looks like he held quite in a fair amount for his offense. And then my Clone Wars Chewie, Scoundrels, Night Sisters, and Darth Revan. Now, with all that being said, I think we'll actually just jump right into our attacking phase here. And I think I'm going to start with the Ewoks with just going heavy with Nest. Wampa should be able to clear that bottom one with no worries. First order, I could do if I do the Jedi Training Ray for first order, he could have his bounty hunters hiding in the back there. My rebels have struggled a little bit against really heavily geared bounty hunters, but if I recall right, let me take a quick check, he only had geared 12, I think, on his Bosk. Oh, Bosk, Boba Fett, Greedo, and he's got Jango with no Zeta, Cad. Hopefully my rebels can get through that. My Padme could always get through it, but we gotta go. First things first, we'll actually do Wampa in here, and we'll go undersized. Let's take Vader out of this lineup. I just don't have much use for Karth, Juhani, Canderous anywhere else. I think I'm gonna try and get my young Lando and Han ready so I can have a prepared team and the Old Republic Karth team. I really like my Chewie team and I hate to break it up. But better to have two good teams than one great one, in my opinion. I think it would give me flexibility to decide either way. But we'll go with our undersized, get our Should be win here. So I don't think anybody counterattacks. We would just have the turn meter gain from bigs. After the tank, that's great. Trying to get some damage on her before she stealth. That's okay. Like I said, I don't expect a lot of difficulties with this team at all. Although they're going heavy into Wampa before I could get protection. All these light multi-attacks are gonna make big crazy him, so hopefully I can just get a hard hit with Wampa. Get that protection up going. Oh yeah, look at that damage. Okay, I'll get a taunt, stun. Things also clear stuns rather quickly because he's turning so fast. Akbar out here, he has got cleanse. Let's do the big hit on bigs. There we go, down. Down and done. Let's do what we can to recover. Now, there we go. I think we got canners up to full. Nope, just one at full protection. 4 full health. And we will do Jedi Training Ray in here. Like to go undersized, but I think we'll just stick with the JTRs and crazy gear here built up. Only single Zeta 2 on the leadership. So let's try and take first order officer out quickly. Before he gets a turn. Try and keep the damage on Finn. Retribution. Pilot here. Remove the retribution again. Do the wiggle. Get a stun on mass to keep him taunting. Might get an illuminated death so we can get some more banners in here. That retribution. Try and get as much health protection on my team as we can. Ease out. Your uncle. Full health, full protection. And we have in the back is General Grievous. Not fully kitted out. We've got our Jedi Knight Revan. Shouldn't be an issue with that. So, we also got Padme for that too if we need. Breakout. Nest. We'll leave Rex out. I probably could leave Kira out. But I don't think it's too big of a deal. I'd rather get the win. That extra damage shouldn't be the difference, but it could be, you never know. Get after Elder first, of course. And let Nest do her counterattacking thing. Oh, we have prepared so we can do a dispel. The Kira doesn't even survive long enough to get that in. AoE, oof. 3 Ewoks down with that. We might get Kira to survive this after all. How about that? There it is, with 1 full protection, 2 full health. 2 survived. Now this one, Zelbar is gonna get annoying, but I don't see anything that really frightens me. That's both veteran Han and veteran Chewbacca, not Vandor in there. And then you got the ramping offense on young Han. I think with this one, I will break out my Grievous. The buff immunity, actually the buff immunity is good against Vandor, but the buff immunity will keep the taunt from coming on Zelbar. And I had to take Sun Fac out of this lineup just because he's in with the bugs, and so I placed Dooku in just because he's a separatist. Now Grievous has a fair amount of health. I didn't go pure health with him. I still got a speed arrow, and I think a crit damage triangle, which might not be optimal. But he's still got 100,000 health on him and 30, 40,000 protection. But he 55,000 protection, but he steals health based off of from other droids on each of his turn based off of his max health. It's not just a like flat say 5% of everybody, you know, of each individual character, but it's of his health. And so he kills his own droids pretty quick, so I don't mind having Newt and Dooku just keep a couple other people alive. And if they happen to go down and die, it still gives General Grievous his bonus turn. He's just not ramping his health up quite as much. And Newt can die twice because he'll auto revive himself, and so that's, you know, a lot of bonus turn potential. It shouldn't matter on this fight either way, so we will just go like this as is. And normally I would like to get that out first. Yeah, maybe I will. Kind of want the buff immunity, but that's okay. We'll hide everybody under stealth. Let's get Prophet out. Throw Prophet on Zalbar, actually. And then the only one that's really a threat here, I think, is young Han Solo. It's my first time testing out this Gear 13 Grievous. Here's our buff immunity. He didn't even get a chance to taunt. He went from full health, full protection to non-existent immediately. Kira out of there. AoE looks like we do. Yeah. And I mean, we still sucked the life out of our own team. Look how quickly we killed our own characters there, or, you know, damaged our own characters. So it's not good for getting really high banners, but it should chew through a team. And like I said, if I place it on defense, it will, or should at the very least, you know, really lay into their health and protection and minimize their banners. I'm just keeping it for offense for that feat, as I said before. And we've got just a Rogue One. Okay. So now the question is Padme or Jedi Knight Revan. And okay, we're only looking at, this is like a Gear 10-ish, if that, General Grievous. And so, having said that, we're going to maximize banner here and just go Revan. Revan can keep his health and protection on his full team up a lot better than Padme can. Padme gets all that bonus protection, but when they get hit before that's up, that bonus protection doesn't keep them, you know, at full total protection. They still get hit underneath it. So we'll say Padme for the top half. I mean, we've got Rebels, we've got so many offensive weapons at our disposal. We've got Traya in there. We got overkill on offense. My opponent plays some really light defenses. He's going to go all out on the attack here. So I hope he struggles on my Darth Revan. Otherwise, if he gets through the front line, he's going to get through the back line. Let's put it that way. I think I have Jawas back there under one of them just so that I had more available on offense. Usually when I have a pretty hefty advantage over my opponent, they usually place almost everything on defense and don't attack, and so I kind of figured that's what my opponent would do, and he didn't, which is fine. I think it should be a win regardless. So let's do our Jedi Knight Revan. Treya would work really well here too, but either way I'm going to lose some banners for protection and health, and I think this is my best bet at trying to prevent as much of that as possible. Give myself the strongest opportunity for high banners. We're not going to mark because marking Magna Guard is just ridiculous. I'm pretty sure this AoE though will bring Grievous to under full health. And so he's going to start marking everyone. Maybe we will just either call in Yoda or basic. Let's just do basic. And Master's Training on Yoda. And now see if we can get a mark on Grievous. I kind of don't want to AoE, but yeah, we'll need to. Meter hit the ability block. Try and keep assists on anybody that's not full bannered. Spread some buffs now that V2's not there to stop it. I think we can afford one AoE without getting Grievous under full. Man, I really want to get a mark on Grievous, but he's so slow, he's not taking a turn. Just basic into Droideka. A small heal, save that big one if we really need the protection recovery. He's got buff immunity, so there's no point trying to save him that way. We're going to use this quote-unquote revive. Let's see if it... Okay, they recover health, but not protection, so that's not going to help us. Just basic. Basic. Let's see if we can't get Kenobi up to full here. Alright, we've got the opportunity for a mark now. I think just a big hit. Yep, should finish it. And hopefully he doesn't get an AoE after what he returns. So that might be full protection on everyone. Yes, good 60 banners against Grievous. Under-geared Grievous, but still. Go undersized on this one. Yeah, no Chirrut in there. Bringing the Triumvirate. Oh, that's right. You don't want to get too into finishing your battles. You want to make sure that you're claiming the feats. See, I should have claimed this a fight or two ago in case there's another, feat hiding behind that I could have been attributing more wins to. So are we close to any others that we're going to need to keep an eye on? Not really, no. Separatists, if this Fist of the Separatists, if I can get the Separatists, like say the Bugs, against Night Sisters, which I'd probably go for on this next GA, defeating an enemy unit, they revive and then you defeat them again, so it's going to bump up your numbers more than just this 5. It should anyway. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, because you're defeating them over and over and over again and then finally finishing them off. Any team that revives a lot, even, Jedi Knight Revan feasibly, if your Grievous can take down a Revan and they get some revives in there, is a you know, a quicker way to try and get those extra feats out of there. We're getting close to what is that? Not chromium? Yeah, we're getting close to chromium, which is nice to see. We're 1,000 away. We should have it after this one. I don't plan on being able to ever reach Kyber, but you never know. Give it my best, give it my all. And so I think we go Padme and undersized, or possibly CLS and undersized. I think Padme stands a better chance of ending with, has the best chance of ending with full banners and protection, or as many as possible. I could do First Order, they regenerate a lot. I think we'll just stick with Padme, and we'll just take out R2. He's not necessary for the win here. Excuse me. And so we can dispel on the basic, or we might be able to finish him with a whirl. She puts out some crazy damage numbers. I don't have R2 to bolster the damage, but I think, yeah, we still shouldn't have a problem with that. And let's get the protection up now, so that they have to try and chew through it, hopefully. Hopefully they remove their own protection up each time they take a turn. This should do some big damage, probably take out K2SO and hurt badly. Not as bad as I thought. All those stacks really add up nicely. We're gonna try and keep anything in that's got bonus protection baked into it, just to try and maximize our banner efficiency. Get out T3 here. Jin's close to a turn, Cassian's close to a turn, but Cassian doesn't do any damage with his grenades. Let's get the roundhouse on Jin. Take out T3. He was on his big hit. Yeah, see, once their protection has been hit, they don't recover anymore. So you don't really get that full protection at the end. See, we lost on 2. Hermit Yoda would have been good for just topping that tiny little bits off that they get chipped away. They get hit after they take a turn. So he went really, really light on defense. You know, there was a chance he was going to have his Jedi Knight Revan in back there, or his Traya team. Kept all that for offense, so he's going to have to choose between Traya on the bugs, Traya on the Night Sisters, Traya for feasibly clean up on Darth Revan after a Jedi Knight Revan first run. He's got Rebels, JTR. Let's take a look and see. So he's got pretty much everything at his disposal, but I don't know that he can do it efficiently, just because of my Darth Revan. I don't know that he's got anything that can take that out in one go. Let's see what the speed of his, yeah, see, it's a potency build, which I used to have 222 speed. So he can't outrun, and I don't think he can outrun with his Thrawn either. 268, no, he can't outrun with his Thrawn. So his Thrawn would feasibly have corrupted battle meditation unless he resists it. Before he would get a turn in, so the fracture wouldn't help him. So he, let's see if his Yoda. What's the speed looking like on his Yoda? Not a speed set, 266. So again, not there. Palpatine doesn't counter since I have Malak in there. Treya's not, a strong enough counter. Rebels aren't a strong enough counter. And where's he at on his Jedi Knight Revan? I don't see it towards the top on Jedi. Towards the top on speed. So he doesn't have a ton of speed even on his Revan 229. Under an optimal team, let's see what kind of speed would his Jedi Knight Revan have. Must be Savior. Oh, leader. 5 speed for each Jedi Old Republic. So he would need 50, which is more than that leadership would give him. So even my Corrupted Battle Meditation would be out before Jedi Knight Revan would be able to attack my Darth Revan team. So I think he's just leaving everything to go for the full clear, even if it takes him a large amount of attempts. Still don't know that he'll be able to get the full clear. Even if he does, it will take him too many attempts to get through me. And so he won't win, but it will help him in his feats, getting his feats accomplished. So it's not a bad choice on his part to just go really light on defense, accept the loss, and try and get as many feats in as he can on the fights. So Rebels, RJ, Ray, Jedi Training, Treya. I mean, he can take out the bugs with Treya. I'm sure he can get through the Chewie team, the Chewie scoundrels, with maybe Ray Jedi Training, or he could easily get through with Revan. I'm sure he can get through this. If he's got a Wampa, he can get through that. But it's that Revan that's going to trip him up. And then the Night Sisters could too, depending on where he uses Treya and what he has left. As Rebels could eat through my Night Sisters, I'm sure. My Night Sisters aren't crazy great or anything. If by some miracle he gets through Darth Revan, he'll get through this one. But by then, I should have slowed him down enough that he's got a one-shot everything. So I just don't see that. And I had excuse me, undersized squads on a lot of it, and so I don't think he can out-efficient me. I mean, I had a few that weren't, really, really high banner accounts, but like I said, he just doesn't have that hard counter to Darth Revan. So looking ahead at other opponents, I don't think anybody had Grievous ready to go. None of them had bugs ready to go. There were a couple that I didn't check for bugs up towards the top here, but I don't believe anybody had bugs ready to go. So I won't say I'm anticipating a first place win. Oh, here we go. We got one with bugs ready. Whether he had that in time for lock, I'm not sure. But he's got his bugs ready. I've got some counter ideas, but only one of them's really ready. He doesn't even have mods on some of these, so I don't think he had it in time for the lock. Doesn't have mods on his Brood Alpha. Doesn't have the gear levels on there. So I don't even think this would need anything too strong to take out. Yeah, there's Sunfact's not even bumping up that health pool to anything decent. Any okay AoE team should be able to get through this. I could maybe even Biggs wedge it. On the Speaking of the manner of taking out the Geonosians, a thought did occur to me that I hadn't heard anybody else discussing yet amongst the counters that have been discussed. A counter thought had occurred to me anyway, looking at my own roster here. Let's see. If we were to look at my prepared team, my prepared team doesn't have the offense to get through the bugs. They don't have the offense, I don't think, to get through this team either. They don't have the AoE strength. Vandor would just revive consistently. He'd have a tough time keeping a buff on himself, but with 3 taunters, maybe not. But if I were to take, say, Mission out and go with Mustache Lando, his ramping AoE, there's no retribution. There are, I think, Sunfac's the only one with a counter chance even. And so his ramping AoE, they don't have crit avoidance, they don't have crit immunity on the team. I think the ramping AoE could overrun the bugs as long as you can keep Lando alive. But there's 3 tanks on the team. They don't inflict buff immunity anywhere. Zelbar retaunts a lot. There's Revive 2 behind Vandor Chewie, and the Revive will revive Mustache Lando. And so I really think that his strong AoE and the rest of this team is a pretty good counter to bugs. And I used to think, he used to possibly be that a team like this, or with a Kira lead, it was hard for anything under the really heavy stuff of, Traya and Jedi Knight Revan, who was brand new at the time. Darth Revan wasn't out yet. It was hard for anything underneath that to take this team out. But now it's got to the point where I honestly think that Geonosians are as good or better of a defensive team than this. So I wouldn't feel like I've lost a lot if I were to take this team offensively to take out the opposing Geo. I think that is a net win in the game of chess. I won't necessarily say it's like pawn takes queen good. In the case of, that Jawa counter to the Geo team that it's got to be a bug because they shouldn't be getting that many thermal detonators. They're each only attacking once, so each one should be only getting 1 stack of the thermal detonators, as opposed to 3 a turn, 5 a turn, whatever it may be. And it's only a 50% chance for the should be 1 per turn anyway. So I don't expect that to be a long-lasting counter. I think it'll be hotfixed relatively soon. I did put a few protection mods on my already weak Jawas, just in case I came across a semi-weak bugs team, which actually technically I could come across, having now seen that one of my opponents has a relatively weak bug team. So I think saving this for offense going forward, when I think I might come across a pretty good Geonosian team, might be the way to go. But my Lando's not ready for that kind of AoE hitting yet. And it wasn't really even on my to-do list until the thought had occurred to me about Lando and his AoE potential. Under a Kira lead, I would lose a taunt, but I would get more crit chance on Lando, and he's reliant on his crit chance. If this attack scores more than 1 critical hit, it's cooldown. Now, there are 6 targets on a Geonosian team, too. Keep that in mind, instead of the standard 5. So the chance for getting 2 crits versus 6 targets with a high percentage crit chance, it's good. But, if luck is against you on that one necessary roll to keep ramping up its offense, you still want that crit chance. I think it's better to go with the Chewy lead and take the taunt. So the cooldown gets reset and it deals 100% more damage the next time it's used. And then his basic does have a really high chance of scoring a critical hit, which is great for calling in on a Kira lead to get Kira prepared. But that's points kind of moot with not using it under a Kira lead. Leadership wouldn't apply. And then he does have a flat, baked into his kit, 15% crit chance, and gains his own crit chance up when he scores a critical hit. It'll, get dispelled relatively quickly from Sunfac countering him on an AoE. But if it's there when he applies the AoE, you can call that, I think that's 25% on that if I'm not mistaken on the buff. So factor in that you aren't going to get that. You still get a 15% increased crit chance. You just put some crit chance into his mods, which I don't currently have in there. Build up his offense, gear him up a bit, and I think you got yourself a bug killing machine. His AoEs should rain down death upon him, if it all, as it plays out in my mind anyway. Mine's not there, not ready yet, but I think relatively easily it could be. A stun cuff, which I'm in desperate need of. If they release Padme anytime soon, I'm going to want to get her to gear 12, 7-star, and she needs 2 for my next gear level of those stun cuffs. This one I was ready to go now, and I don't even think I need this for anybody else. Marauder's not really getting worked on currently by me. Maybe should be, but isn't. Clones maybe should be for down the road, but not, they're not. No, I'm not working on them yet. So that piece could go on, and this piece could easily go on. I've got enough of these. It's just the stun cuff, and then we're at gear 11. We're starting to talk already. I don't even have him at 7-star to go for 12, but the bump to 11 should help him a decent amount. He got a little protection buff recently too. So I really think with minimal investment upon what I already have, I should have a bug squashing team. And I'm hoping that the bugs work well against Night Sisters, because I really could use another team to get through Night Sisters. That Zeta on Palpatine is really starting to look tempting. I've been tempted by it before, but I think I've never been tempted by it as much as right now. It's proving to be good against, was it maybe Grievous and Padme? Maybe not so much on those two, but it's proving it's a decent counter to a pretty good Night Sister team, and it's proving to be, I believe, a good counter to the bugs. Now, the rest of my units around it are going to need some work too, and I'm going to need a Zeta, I'm going to need gear on Palpatine. So the other reason I kind of haven't done it yet is I'm just not that close to it to have an Empire team ready. Honestly, I'd rather have more Sith than Empire behind it, just because the leader only heals Sith, not Empire, and so you have to kind of put Shore Trooper in there to clear off Plague, and my Shore Trooper's already spoken for under my Darth Revan team because my Sith Trooper isn't ready for my Darth Revan team, and I need a pre-taunt. I can't use L3, she's used elsewhere. All my pre-taunts are spoken for, counted and spoken for. So I'd almost rather have Sith in here, but I mean, Empire inflicts a debuff, they're gaining 20% turn meter. Tarkin goes debuff crazy. You got 6 targets out there instead of 5. Again, that makes a difference on the turn meter gains. When you got 6 stun potential going out instead of 5. 6 dot potential on Vader instead of 5. Um, the turn meter gains are just crazy. I'm one away from having a Zeta. This might have to be where it goes. I mean, it could go into Bug Lead. It's not a bad investment for it either. Or it could go on my Palpatine. Tarkin, where am I at for my Tarkin? You know, gear 9, not great. If I could get to 11, that'd be better. Get more stun cuffs. The rest of this, yeah, it's just something piddly I'm missing down here. Yep, those. TIE Fighter pilot, buff immunity. Death Trooper could even go into there. I don't know if that's beneficial, but under Night Sisters it sure is. You know, you get one down and you can start putting Death Mark up and go to town. And I don't need them under Troopers because that's far from happening anytime remotely soon. Every single one is less than level 50 except Death and Shore. Magma, who's of really no use except as the Traya counter, but not many people are leaving Traya for defense anymore anyway. Vader applies such a healthy amount of debuffs. Thrawn not so much, and he's kind of there as a great disruptor on the counters to Darth Revan. I maybe should have put him in on my Darth Revan team, since it would be Jedi Knight Revan going against him and marking somebody and going around the taunt anyway. He doesn't have his own Darth Revan, so I really didn't need the pre-taunt for the fear, but usually I do, so. That could be, you know, another option for me for this Zeta. It's two more stun cuffs. That's what, good 250 of those that I need. But yeah, that's a good option for my next Zeta. Could get saved. It could get put in bugs. It could get saved for whenever Shock T goes free to play, but that's far down the road because my troopers aren't quite there yet. They're all 7-star. I think they're all level 85, but that's it. I mean, they're not heavy geared. It just wasn't worth it at the time, and it's still not entirely worth it. That Shock T is still not free to play. My bounty hunters are nowhere near needing a Zeta because Bosk just not there. Not really gonna be. So let's look at the bug. Bug Zeta on the leadership is 10% more damage for each buffed enemy. You remove a lot of debuffs with this team, so the value on that is there, but not strong. Unless you got someone that's, you know, rebuffing constantly. Jedi Knight Revan, and face this team's not going to take down a Jedi Knight Revan unless you've got it absolutely ideal gear 13. And then even that's a maybe. So I think that might be where my next Zeta goes. It's way past time to get that excellent Zeta that most people have. I mean, that would make my Palpatine a counter to a Darth Revan that doesn't have Malak as well. So, I mean, it would require pulling some Sith out from elsewhere, but that would be a net win if you can take out a Darth Revan without using Jedi Knight Revan, Suicide Grievous, or your own Darth Revan, or Padme, and none of those are really solid uses or reliability for me for getting through those anyway, so it might have to be where it goes. we'll see. We'll find out in the next one because I should have my Zeta by then, and I probably still will have it sitting there deciding. But I'll weigh the options, pros and cons, and see where I think it will best suit me. It could get saved for the prepared team too. I could use one on Young Han and Lando because that's also a um, at least pre-reworked bug counters, and Albiol has shown a couple of times in his fights. Though his are probably, I think, gear 12 and 7 starred, and mine wouldn't be. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Um, yeah, see you then.